so we're gonna call the meeting to order at 7:06. Welcome to the Cutler Memorial Library Board of Trustees meeting on January 12th. I'm Donna Ferguson, Chair.
I'm Vicki Varick, Library Director.
Jeff Larson, Trustee.
Alan Sandler, alternate trustee.
Laura Dion, trustee.
Okay. Review of revision. Everybody had a chance to look over the agenda items. Is there anything that we should add?
I believe so, on my end.
No.
All right, so minutes. Jeff wasn't at the meeting, but Laura and Alan were. So you guys reviewed the minutes. You looked at the minutes from May 8th.
Mm-hmm.
Any discussion on those? Okay, so
No.
Vicki, you're taking,
Yeah.
okay, minutes. Vicki's
Yep.
gonna do minutes because Jen's not here. I make a motion to approve the public minutes from May 8th.
I'll
Second it. Oh, I'll second it.
Laura, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No opposed, no abstained, so that's four. Oh, any opposed?
He's
Oh,
upstairs
that's right.
because he wasn't here. Yeah.
So it's 3-0-1.
0-1.
I'm so glad you're paying attention. And the unsealed minutes, everybody had a chance to look at those. Okay, so I don't think we're gonna make any changes on those, right? Correct? Okay, so I'm gonna make that motion to approve the unsealed non-public minutes from May 8th.
I'll second it.
Laura, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And one abstaining. Okay. I don't believe we had any correspondence.
No.
Public comments? Ooh, thank God, not this year. Treasurer's report, interim report provided.
Okay.
Can I ask, is there any update with Erica?
There is, but
Do you want to do that now?
well, I mean, it's on the agenda
Okay.
for later. So,
Okay, then
yeah,
let's do that
So,
later.
we had 2 disbursements in May for, this didn't get changed, it should say May, not April, to the town appropriation account, and our, as I'm saying, unverified town appropriation account balances, because we haven't been able to reconcile without a treasurer, is $83,409.18, and our current balance as of the 6th was $42,505. So we are at 35.9% of the budget spent for the year. So, and then the Board of Trustees fines and fees account, we had a couple disbursements there for multiple copies and replacement books. And that account balance as of 4/30/23 is $15,594, and the current balance is $15,401. Insurance.
15,401, I have 15,474.
Well, and
Oh.
one. I just
Oh,
rounded.
and one. Oh, okay, all right. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, okay. The insurance settlement savings account, there was no activity there, so it's, except for a few cents in interest, so that sits at $896. And yeah, that's all we have for the
Okay,
The
so
treasurer.
any discussion on the treasurer's report? Okay, so I'll make that motion to accept the June 12th, no, it would be, yeah, the June 12th, 2023 treasurer's report pending audit.
I'll second it.
Okay, Laura, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so that's 4-0-0. There's no one's an abstained or no one is,
So we do have donations that we've received for the summer reading challenge, and those need to be approved by vote. So the list is on your sheet, but we received $500 from Continental Paving, $200 from DLB Paving, $500 from New England Small Tube, $250 from Optimum Building, and $100 from Tim's Turf. So that totaled $1,055, which is what's in the motion.
Okay, and I will make that motion to accept the April and May donations for the summer reading challenge of $1,055.
I'll second.
Jeff, okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that's 4-0-0.
And then I do have the balances in the trust funds, as of March 31st. So the building maintenance trust fund currently has $66,209, and the other account that's for non-building maintenance items is $1,958.
Okay, perfect. That is
Just
good
an
to know.
FYI.
Yeah, we might need that later.
Yep.
Okay.
Moving to
Director.
All right, director's report. So, the certified overdue letter that I talked about last month, all the items came back, so
Perfect.
we didn't need to
Fabulous.
involve the police department, so
Good.
that was great.
That worked out well.
There's a change to the second item. I have that the budget committee is to tour the library on June 14th, but it's gonna be postponed until August, and
Oh.
I don't have a date for that yet, so.
Okay.
So they're just touring all the facilities in town to get a feel for what's here, and then hear from the department head about what your needs are, what the issues are, so that they kind of have an idea of what will be coming up in the future. So, I know the Board of Selectmen is touring with them. I don't know if, well, last time they did come to the library too, but they're definitely will be at their department. So I think it is a good idea if you're available, once I have the date and the
Mhm.
time, if you come as well, because that way everybody's hearing the same thing at the same time. Or it will probably, no, is it gonna be?
It'll be recorded.
It will be recorded? Okay, so, you'd have another chance also.
So you'll have to go to each one of those that day.
I've got a guy, he's gonna follow him around.
Guys are great.
With a steady cam?
I got a guy. I like it.
Oh, so I'll keep you informed on that. I have a little item here, building and service deficiencies, so I just wanted to point out a couple things that have come up recently, in-house and online. So one thing, was a thread on the mom's page,
A threat?
thread,
Oh,
on
okay.
the mom's page where they were talking about different libraries and whatnot. So I know a lot of them have library cards, not just here, but to other libraries as well. And the main reasons that I was seeing was they have more programs for kids. You know, ours are really only the early literacy. We don't have things for the elementary school age. And it's not because we don't want to, it's because we don't have enough staff to actually be able to offer the programs. So that was one reason. Another reason was the other libraries have more museum passes to choose from, which will always happen if you're in a bigger library with a bigger budget. So, and they talked about, you know, bigger summer reading programs and being able to borrow things like Lego kits and other kind of STEM kits kind of things to take home. So those are pretty common in bigger libraries. And, you know, you could think about, well, we could get a couple of those or whatever, but, you know, where are we going to put them?
Well,
That's-
and where are they gonna use them?
Well, they take them home.
Oh, they
yeah,
well,
it's,
no,
it's
that's
something
right.
to borrow,
borrow, okay.
but we don't have space for additional,
Stuff.
yeah. So it makes it hard. And so it just, you know, it's kind of sad, but that's okay. We also have patrons who don't understand why we don't have more programs for kids, and they'll like give the children's librarian ideas about what we could do. And, you know, trust me, she has plenty of ideas of what we could do, but again, without trained staff to
Right.
facilitate them.
Right.
And I think, you know, there's a general, I don't know if it's not a misconception, but you're just not aware of how much work does go into like the children's room.
Mhm.
So she does as many programs as she can. Getting ready for summer is just like nutso time, trying to plan for everything. And even the programs that we have in the summer, a lot of it is self-directed because, you know, we'll have her and then one other person, and you've got 40 to 50 kids each session going through different stations. So you can't have somebody that's just planted in a space to give more direction, to do more involved kinds of things. But a lot of time goes into collection development. And I don't know, you know, what people think about that, how that happens, but it's not like, you know, the state sends what books we should have and we just get them or whatever. It is individualized to each library, so she knows her clientele down there. You probably know that with your kids. If there's something they're interested in, you know, she'll make sure that
Right.
it's there, but it does take a lot of time. I mean, you know, it's not just whipping out Amazon and picking the first 10 things you see.
Right.
It's a lot more involved. So, you know, hopefully this budget season we'll be able to try again to get more help for her downstairs so that they can expand and
Are you
do more
seeing a
things.
decline in the number of people coming
No.
in because of that? You're going to
no.
other libraries? Okay.
But I think there are people that go to other libraries that we don't see. Because they, you know, they do have, but I know a lot of our customers also have cards. Doesn't mean everybody that has a card outside of town
Goes.
comes here too.
Oh, I see what you're
So,
saying. Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So, you know, and it is a community, the library is a community space, and it's a place to meet other people in the community and, you know, build that relationship. So if they're going other places, you know, they're losing out on that. Not just us from not having people here, but, you know, someday it would be wonderful if we did have more space to be able to do more things. But the other thing that's come up is having one bathroom. You know, we have one bathroom. And so when we have, you know, certainly slow times of the day or whatever, that's not a problem. But when we end up with,
The summer reading program when there's all
well,
those
yes,
kids out
that,
there.
but even story time,
Sure.
when you've got 24 kids plus they're adults, sometimes they bring more than one. It's not very conducive to little ones who are potty training, and when they
Yeah.
need to go, they need to go.
Yeah.
The other thing that comes up is, for example, if you're here and you've got your child and a friend's child, or we have nannies that come in and they'll have kids from different families, you know, if they're under a certain age, they have to be
With-
inside at all times because they're little. So, for example, last week we had that situation and one child needed to go to the bathroom, and so everybody has to go, but the other child's not in that family and doesn't go in the bathroom with the other. So the woman was like in and out, in and out. It was like, you need to stand outside the door, you know, which is fine. So she'd be in, and then she'd come out to make sure the other child was still there. And even just the placement of the bathroom,
It's like right
the door to
by
the
exit.
parking lot's right there. So
Yeah.
it's not a very,
Yeah.
you know, I would think it makes people quite uncomfortable when they have to do that, thinking
Yeah.
about, you know, the what ifs.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, do we have space for another bathroom? No. But even, you know, even if that bathroom, and it's just not big enough as it is, if it was in a stall, then you could have more than one person in there
Right.
in that situation. But, so that's just one of the other things you have to kind of consider. So, you know, just keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Oh, we had 2 benches donated by Alexis. She had a couple extras from an order that didn't arrive and ended up getting double. So there's a bench out back now next to the back door, and there's one out in front by the garden.
Nice.
So thank her for that.
Mhm.
And summer reading challenge, that's where all the attention is focused right now. Everything's planned, but now it's making sure everything's, you've got all your supplies and the last kits are getting made and all that type of stuff. So registration has started. For the children, this is their brochure this year. And the inside with the beautiful calendar with all the activities that are going on. And on the back, we've got a list of sponsors, but then she makes these lists up
Oh, nice.
so that we can hang around the tent when it goes up so people know who's been donating, not just the money that we got, that we talked about earlier, but prizes and things. And so, like the McDonald's in Hudson, they donate enough free ice cream so that, everybody that participates and goes through the program can get one. Same for Mel's, those that finish and get their 1,000 points. They'll get that, and Papagino's too. And then others, we might get 50 cards here or whatever. But we made 250 brochures this year compared to 200 last year, which were not enough. And so they were photocopying and whatnot. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's bigger again.
It starts on the 20th?
The 20th, yep, June 20th through July 29th. And what I don't have on here, but you might have seen in the newsletter, is we released our butterflies this past week, so that was fun, and we had a pretty good turnout of people that came in for it. We even had a few people that were driving by and just saw the sign and came and was like, oh, let's see what happens. So, but amazingly, at least to me, all 10 caterpillars did make it to butterflies. So that was nice. And then the kind of interesting thing is, we let them go and they have a lifespan of like 2 weeks. So hopefully they lay their eggs here.
Yeah.
And then we'll have more butterflies. So be on the lookout for painted lady butterflies in the garden. So that's it for the director's report.
Okay, on the building and grounds.
So
report?
building and grounds, Alan and Donna will maybe remember this.
I remember.
The puffback.
The puffback. Do you
Yeah.
remember the puffback?
No. Wait.
So in 2000, not this one, in 2017, we had a big furnace puffback that spewed soot throughout the whole library, and it was an insurance claim, and we had to have people come in and clean every shelf, every book, just,
Replace the wallpaper.
yeah, we got new wallpaper because of
blinds,
it,
paint the
and new
ceiling, wasn't it?
blinds.
Was it
Yeah,
paint the
everything
ceiling?
had to be painted.
Yeah.
The only thing that we didn't get was carpet, which we were like, come on, can't you say it? Since it's so bad, but oh well.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
take what you can get. So, I think it was a Wednesday night, I got a phone call from Ben. He and Regina were leaving the building, and he told me there was black smoke coming out of the chimney. And so I had him check a few things, but it stopped. And then I came in myself to look around, and everything seemed to be fine. But we called Jolt in the next day.
I brought my library books back that day, and I saw Jolt out there, like, oh, that can't be good this time of year. That was my exact thought.
Yeah, so they said it was a mini puffback. I wasn't here that day. And they cleaned it out. The guy that was here said it was the worst he'd seen in 22 years.
And it was a mini puffback?
Well, in that it didn't go throughout the building, and it involved one furnace.
And what causes the
Well,
puffback?
I will need to talk to Eric about it more, but apparently it can be a whole lot of different things, and it's hard to know what it is. So like the last time, the oil tanks had run out, so that caused it, but they were at a quarter or better full, so it wasn't that. But he told Alexis that with our new furnaces, it would be contained to the furnace room. And it's like, oh, that's good. But then the day after, I was at my desk, and I'm like, where did I pick this up? So I started to look, and I thought, oh, it's because I have venting right from the furniture room. I'm right next to it, so I thought it was just that. But then we looked in the children's room, and on every shelf there were little balls of just very tiny, but it was everywhere. So Alexis and Lynn, and then the custodian Russ, he came in later, and they wiped down every shelf and vacuumed books and all that stuff to get it cleaned back up. So we certainly don't want that happening again. So like I said, I'll
Yeah.
be trying to get a little more information
Yeah,
on
at least to
that.
see what like caused it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if they can narrow it down, or
Right.
you know, because we just replaced the furnace not long ago, right?
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
That shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, in 21, I think it was. So, but you know, some's got to happen here all the time. And then we have a pavilion update. So Donna and Alan and I went to the May 22nd Board of Selectmen's meeting to discuss the funding for the pavilion. And they were in favor of letting us use the rest of our impact fees and whatever interest income from the ARPA funds was left. So I met with the town administrator, Kim Kleiner, and with the finance director, Karen White, that next day. So we have already encumbered $31,135. We have $16,500 left in impact fees to use. They had $8,188 in interest that we could apply, which leaves us with $2,426 low. But I mentioned it to Donna, and it's for everyone to decide. That could come out of our fines and fees account.
And didn't you say that it also, the impact fees will continue to gain interest?
Yes.
So by the time that we have to pay that portion from the library could be less. Could be
Yeah.
less.
And it's not interest, it's
I'm
just
sorry.
as more people build, like when these big projects get started, then that will generate more impact fees.
Right.
So
Right.
it may not be that dollar amount by the time we have to pay it, but
Right.
that's just kind of where we are. So, the next thing is, well, we thought we were meeting with them tonight,
Right.
but because she didn't have the contract ready yet, we'll be meeting with them. What day
The
did I say?
26th, I thought you said on the 26th.
Yes, the 26th.
Right,
So at their next meeting.
right.
And then at that point, the selectmen will officially vote to use those monies for the project. And hopefully we'll have the contract as well. So, Brian Novak finally was able to get a site plan last Thursday. They weren't finding one at Town Hall, and then the one they finally found, I think on Wednesday, it didn't show the septic or anything. And so I was digging around and I found one from 2001. So that was better because it had the septic and Litchfield locations on it,
Right.
which is what he needed. So he did the site plan and turned that in Monday. Yeah, so we're just waiting on the contract to be ready, and yeah, we'll be ready to go. He
Right.
did clarify though that because there's 2 trees that have to come out, that big maple is one of them. And I'm sad it won't be there because it is still providing some shade, but I do know that every time we have a storm where there's wind, another limb drops off. So doesn't have much life left in it anyway. And now we have all those other trees planted out there to eventually take its place. So do you have feelings about using the fines and fees account money?
I'm okay with it, because what do we have in there? Didn't we say we had,
Yeah.
somewhere there was,
I'm good with that.
you're good with that
Oh,
too?
yes,
Yeah,
let's get
Yeah.
it done.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have just a little over $15,000 as a balance, and we do have $4,500 that's kind of spoken for in our little makeshift accounts, special funds. So there's enough there.
Yeah, you want me to, I can make that motion to, expend $2,426 from the trustees' fines and fees account for the construction of the library pavilion. Should we make that not to exceed, or just leave it at that amount?
I would just leave it at that.
Okay.
If we need to change it, we can
Okay.
later.
Any discussion on that motion? Oh, someone has to second it.
I'll second it.
Alan. And was there any discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and there's no abstain and 0. We're good. 400.
All right.
Okay, so, yeah, I'm always like you. Let's just get that, let's get that bad boy done.
Yeah.
I know. Okay.
Did you want to do the capital improvement one?
Oh, yeah, the capital improvement. So we, I just wanna read it. I don't know what page it's
Here's
on.
your page. Here.
Oh, yeah, so, Vicki, Jeff, and I went to the CIP meeting, when's that, last Monday? Yeah, June 5th, and we discussed to lowering the threshold from $50,000 for the library projects. And then this led to a discussion by the capital improvement committee, is that right? They understood that we needed to lower it, but they didn't actually vote on what the amount was. One member pointed out that the bundled list we put together was mostly ARPA funds, and it was, right, the security system and the camera.
Yeah.
So that really wouldn't be part of that capital improvement, which we could use trust funds to do that, couldn't we, those items?
Well, the thing was some
That
of the
wasn't
projects
discussed
that
at
we
the
had in our bundles, because the ARPA money didn't have to be used just on capital projects, it could be used on maintenance
Right.
type things too. So, some of the items that are in our bundle are really maintenance items, not capital improvement items. So like the replacement of the interior security system, we already have one, so they consider that maintenance. You're just
Right.
upgrading. But I think the exterior CCTV, which we've never had, that would probably fall under it. And they just said, because this wasn't the time that we were giving projects, that's in July,
Right.
just, have your list together, and then they'll talk about it and decide what's maintenance and what's not.
And they did point out that it's kind of a two-prong kind of approach with what is considered capital improvement. One of those is the dollar amount, which I think right now is one of the biggest hurdles, right? That
Right.
50,000 threshold. But the other is the use. What's the lifespan of it? It needs to be 5+ years. So I think part of it is, as we're evaluating these things, is
Right.
making sure we're in both buckets. Obviously, we need the dollar amount adjusted, but I think making sure that we highlight both points would be
Right.
beneficial to getting that
Yeah.
approval, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct. And one member recognized the library doesn't have access to the town's unexpended fund balance like the town departments do, and suggested a warrant article for these capital improvement trust fund or a maintenance trust fund. So we could put a warrant article together for next March for that. Because if we had something big, that would help. So we do need to submit draft submissions, including the submission form, are due on the 17th, and they indicated we could submit our list, and they can determine which projects are truly the capital improvements. And that continues on August 17th with questions they have for those departments submitting projects, with final submissions due on the 18th. So those are our timelines. And we're going to look at that list, remove some of the items, and add a few. Like we were thinking of the donation box would be a good one.
Not donation,
No,
the book
no,
drop.
the book drop, not the
Nope,
donation.
see, that wouldn't qualify. Because
That
we
wouldn't-
already have a book drop.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Darn. And we have to work on the submission form. But I thought it was a good meeting, there
It
was some
was.
good conversation, we
Yeah.
learned things, they learned things. And, yeah, so we're good with it, we're right on schedule with the timeline. Okay. What's the next?
Next thing
I
is
know, I keep losing my.
Personnel Committee. So, I just wanted to let you know that the town administrator did present a new, compensation plan to the Board of Selectmen. I think that was on May 22nd. So she had surveyed certain towns based on, different criteria. And so we need to take care of that now too, because they don't collect library information, or they have some, but it's spotty. So we do have that access to that information, so I just need to make sure I know which towns it is, so that we can look at that too, and then kind of be a united front this time. The last time it happened, we didn't know they were doing it, and by the time we found out, it was like voting time, and so we were 2 years behind in getting ours upgraded as well. So try not to do that this time.
So what, do we need to do anything with this now? Or,
Well, the personnel committee can look at stuff.
oh, okay,
So,
okay.
but like I said, I need to get the correct list of towns that they used.
Okay.
And then, the librarians in the state have a shared spreadsheet where people can put all that information in.
Mm-hmm.
So it just kind of depends on if the towns we're looking at have kept up with it, or, if it's old, and then if it's old, we'll have to contact them instead. But it shouldn't be too arduous.
Well, I'm on that committee, and
Yes.
so we
Yeah.
can
Work on that.
work on that.
Trying to see, do we have, another thing that, she told us at a leadership meeting, they're working on, updating the personnel policy as well, so the compensation plan is kind of part of that. And then they're also discussing whether or not to continue on with the earn time plan that we have, or, revert to paid time off. They're kind of looking at it as a cost savings, but there was a lot of opposition to that, especially from certain departments that put restrictions on employees as to when they can take their time off. So it's like, if you're gonna take something away, you gotta have something else there to attract them to wanna work here. So, I don't know how that will turn out in the end, but we'll monitor it and see what's happening. And actually, we're one of those departments. You can't take vacation in the summer. There's not enough of us
Yeah.
to handle what we'd be left with. So, yeah. So that's it for committee reports.
Okay, new business.
Yes, so, I've discussed this with Erica. She intends to resign from the board. She's having a really hard time with childcare in the evening. And, again, she's not here tonight. She's missed a couple meetings, so, that's what her issue is. So, I thought she would be here tonight, but obviously she couldn't make it. So we talked about, a date of the 19th, because she indicated to me that she had heard back from the bank, and that you can go in and sign the signature card, but
Okay.
you should verify that before you go in probably,
Okay.
so you don't waste a trip.
Yeah.
Because we need to make sure there's somebody signed checks before we accept a resignation.
So is she going to come to the, July meeting?
I don't know, I didn't hear from her today, so, and really she could just submit the letter too, without coming in.
I would suggest that she do that, yeah.
Yeah,
Because if,
yeah, we can't
no.
keep waiting, so once that happens, then, we'll need a treasurer, And Donna and I have talked to Jeff about it, and he's willing to take that on. And since he's a 3-year position, that makes, good sense because you're on a 1-year. And Alan, we get to point you right back in again, and you'll be on a 1-year. Isn't it fun? Oh, never a dull moment.
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, but it'll be good to get caught up on stuff then. So yeah, depending, and just let me know when you do
So I will
sign. So hopefully
ask
you
her
can.
if,
Yeah,
before I drive over there, just make sure.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because I have checks. So by telling her the 19th, I'm hoping that I'll get her in this week to sign this batch, and then next week you would be able to.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then once Jeff's appointed, then he would need to go to the bank.
Right, then Laura will tell the bank to take Erica off the list
Okay.
and add Jeff.
Okay.
So it'll be, but
Oh.
since they've just done it, we shouldn't have a problem with this waiting period that we did this time for whatever reason. But
Yeah.
they'll be familiar with it again.
Yeah, I mean that's. I work in the bank, so no.
We'll
how
just
it
leave it
goes.
at that, yeah.
Right. Okay,
So, but I'll be in contact with her.
okay. All right, any other announcements? No. Okay, so then Alan, once Erica resigns, then we would have to appoint you, and then you would have to go to the selectmen's, or just,
You may
Is
not
that
have to go to the meeting,
Okay.
because, been there, done that now.
did you do
pretty
that last
recently.
time? Like last summer, did you have to go to the selectmen's meeting when you went from alternate to?
Was it last summer?
It was in the fall.
Oh, was it in the fall?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think by the time everything, it could have been September.
And, right, I did not, because
Yeah.
it was literally,
Yeah. Yep,
Okay.
just moving from one spot
Okay.
to the other, so.
Okay. All right, so the summary of directives, so, I have that Alan and Vicky and I will go to the selectmen's meeting on the 26th,
correct.
okay? Well, the next CIP meeting will be after our, on the 17th, that would be after our July meeting, so
Yeah,
we could put that as an action then.
we'll know, cause we need to have stuff for it,
Oh.
so we need to work on it.
Okay, so we'll need to
Yeah.
work on that.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeff, we'll have to plan another meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
We'll email and see what works for everybody.
Yeah.
Anything else that we,
I'll find out about, so it's signature card?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just put, yeah,
Yeah, find out about that.
okay. Anything else?
I'll talk to Erica about her resignation letter.
And then she'll have it for the July meeting, which I won't be here for, so
Okay.
you'll have to, appoint him and then he can run the meeting. Just jump right in there.
All right.
Yep.
Oh.
And,
Anything else?
I'm gonna get the information, for
Oh.
the, salary compensation review. And Jeff and I will set a time to meet.
Okay. And also, you'll talk with Jill about maybe the reason for.
Yeah,
Puffback. And then once, I guess Erica resigns and then Jeff is appointed, we would need to, because wasn't she on the finance and the building and grounds, so we would need to appoint,
yeah, the treasurer's usually on the finance committee, so
Okay.
that's a
Okay.
no-brainer,
and then
but,
building and
yeah.
grounds. You guys can figure that out next
Yeah.
month. Okay, all right, I think that's it, right?
Okay, yep, and then I'll just say I'm off for the rest of the week, so don't come in looking for me. I'll see you next week.
You're off the rest of this week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll also just mention that our wildlife encounters, what am I trying to say? Our wildlife encounter sessions, the 2 sessions we have on Wednesday the 21st, they
They
filled
go
up
full.
so
Yeah.
fast. It was 40 kids each, which then usually gets us between, I don't know, around 60 people with the adults. And you really don't want to go larger than that because then the kids can't see the animals. So it's just the whole point of the
Right.
whole point of the program. But it's really popular, and but it it's expensive too. But they just love it, love it, love it. Alexis thinks about doing something different the next year, but then people will say, "Are you having them again? We can't wait to sign up." It's like, okay, well, that works out well. So yeah.
Cool.
So
Okay, so our next meeting is July 10th, and I'm gonna make a motion. Is there anything else that we need to discuss? Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:47.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. 400.